Hello and welcome to this week's performance of Arts in Action. We're delighted today to welcome Seán Ryan, Mick Crehan and Greg Cotter. We'd like to give a special thank you to Mick Crehan and Galway Sessions for making this concert possible, as well as send our sincere thanks to Shiva Nee and the team at the Mick Lally Theatre where this was recorded. Thank you and enjoy the performance.
Well, hello everyone out there in the virtual world. We're delighted to be asked to take part in Arts in Action programme for this year, and especially so seeing as it's in memory of Mary McPartlin, and all three of us knew Mary for a very long time, and she was a lovely, lovely woman and a joy to meet. Seán and Greg and I are the regular trio at the Sunday lunchtime session in the Crehan Bar. It's probably one of the most long established and best known sessions, I suppose, in the country, in Ireland. Actually, in 2019, Seán actually celebrated 40 years hosting that session. And so it's quite a record. And for the first 30 of those years, he was accompanied by Pat Keneally, troubadour and guitar player from Oughterard. And sadly, Pat passed away about 10 years ago, and myself and Greg stepped into the breach. So today we're hoping to give you a kind of a flavour of what happens at the Sunday session in the Crehan. Mary, of course, and her husband Paddy and her brother were regular visitors to the Crehan, and Mary loved to come to gigs there, and after a busy day to pop in to hear a session, and she was always busy as a bee, but she was never too tired to give us a song or two when asked. So we're going to start the set with some jigs, and they're all associated with the O'Dwyer family, a great music family from County Cork. And the first one is called Tatterjack Welch, then there's Michael O'Dwyer's, and we finish it out with a jig with a lovely title, The Blue Bells Are Blooming, very apt for this time of the year. Okay. Okay, we're going to continue with a couple of reels. They're both come from County Laois, which is the next door county to where Seán lives now at the moment, in County Offaly, in a very famous castle, Lep Castle, reputedly the most haunted house in Ireland. But anyway, these two reels are The Lads of Laois and The Trip to Durrow. We're going to continue with a set of slip jigs. Slip jigs have almost become an endangered species, but myself and Seán are quite fond of them, and we always like to include at least a couple of sets of slip jigs during the session and Sundays. So we're going to play three of them now. The first one is one of the Connemara jig songs, and Kenwan Wana, and the second one was written by my uncle Junior Crehan, with the nice, short and sweet little title, I Have a House of My Own at Home with a Chimney above on the top of it. And we finish out the set with a tune called The Leitrim Quick Step, which is a tune I picked up from Seán a long time ago.
going to continue now, and I'm going to play an air called On Yanam She, or The Fairy Child. It's the music of a song which relates to the story, the folk tale of the Changeling. And this was a setting, or version that was collected in Connemara by Seamus Ennis one time when he went around with his large machine on his back, with his big shellac recorder. And he got it from an old lady someplace in Connemara. So, On Yanam She.
We're now going to play a couple of set dances. The first one is called The Garden of Daisies, and the second one is a tune called The Job of Journey Work. And we associate these with Pádraig O'Cara. Pádraig was a lecturer in biochemistry for many years up in NUIG, and he was a great character and a great musician. And he was a regular at the Sunday session for many years. So every time we play these tunes, we always remember Pádraig, and they were great favourites of his. Greg, nearly time for a song.
Okay. Yes, this is a song called The Dreaming Fields, dedicated to Mary, especially Mary McParland, and all of the strong women out there have propped us up through the years and continue to do so. I hope they always will. It's called The Dreaming Fields. Well, the sun rose down as big as a miracle. It fades on the western sky. Ah, the corn and the trees, they wave in the breeze as if to say goodbye. Well, my grandfather stood right here as a younger man in 1943. With his toil, his tears, the rain and the years, he brought life from the soil with seed. I'm going down to the dreaming fields. What will be my harvest now? Every tear that falls on a memory is like rain on a rusty plough. Like rain on a rusty plough. Ah, these fields, they dream of wheat in the summertime, and grandchildren running free, and the bales of hay at the end of the day, and a scarecrow that just scared me. Well, the houses, they grow like weeds on a flower bed. This morning the silo fell. It seems the only way a man can live on the land these days is to buy and sell. I'm going down to the dreaming fields. What will be my harvest now? Every tear that falls on a memory is like rain on a rusty plough. Like rain on a rusty plough. Like the rain that falls on the roof by the kitchen where my grandmother sings. You can hear if you listen. It's the end of the world I loved. I'm going down to the dreaming fields. What will be my harvest now? Every tear that falls on a memory is like rain on a rusty plough. Like rain on a rusty plough.
Oh, very good. We're going to play a set of jigs now. The first one is a tune called Rosemary Lane, and we have an interesting story behind that tune. Seán recorded it on his album The Minstrel's Fancy, and he wasn't too sure who the author was, but he had a notion that it might have been written by Ed Reevy, the Cavan fiddle player who lived over in Philadelphia most of his life. And I was quite friendly with Ed's son, young Ed, so we said we'd make an inquiry. So I rang him and played the tune for him over the phone, and I said, by any chance, would that tune be your father's? And he said, no, I don't think so, but he says, I think it might have been written by Paddy Fahey. And Paddy, of course, was a great fiddle player and composer from East Galway. So we said we better check things out with Paddy, and we gave Paddy a ring and played the tune for him. And I said, Paddy, would that tune be yours by any chance? And he said, no, but I think it might be Ed Reevy's, he said. So it turned out in the wind-up that neither of them had written it, but Seán found it in a manuscript from the Waltons collection. So we'll play that jig, Rosemary Lane, and follow it with Old Tipperary, a tune from Seán's county.
Beautiful Old Tipperary.
often joined on a Sunday by a lovely woman and great harper, Kathleen Loughnane, and she tends to add a little bit of civility and decorum to proceedings, which can be needed at times. But she always brings some lovely tunes to us, and one that we particularly like that she plays is a carillon piece called Madam Maxwell. So we're going to give that a go. Okay, we've come to the end of our set, and we'd just like to thank Arts in Action again for asking us to take part in this year's programme. I'd like to give a special thank you to Galway 2020 for the support in recording this, and a very, very special thank you to Drew Theatre for facilitating us for this recording. We thought it would be only appropriate to finish out with a fine set of reels from the County Leitrim, Mary's home county. They come from the playing of two of Leitrim's very well-known flute players, John P. Blessing and John McKenna, who recorded over in America back in the 20s and 30s. So goodbye for now, and hopefully we'll see you all soon enough in the real world, maybe some Sunday morning in the Crane Bar.
Thank you for attending today's Arts in Action concert. We will return on the 21st of April with Leah Redmond, soprano, and Dervla Collins on piano, presented in partnership with Music for Galway. We wish you and yours a happy Easter holiday and look forward to seeing you online April 21st.